Hey, and we are back for the next part. Sorry for the interruption. Ran out of space. But coming back where I left off, your God ordained spouse, he knew how to be the distraction. He knew what exactly he was doing, and he knew he ran out the door. When he ran out that door, the door shut behind him, and the enemy busted his face on glass. Them wolves bust their face on the glass. Hear me what I'm telling you. You got some enemies right now. Hear me, hear me, hear me. They about to bust their face directly on a wall that the Lord has placed there. They think that they gonna stop what God has ordained to happen. They think they gonna stop what God has set up in place for you and your spouse. They think they gonna stop your spouse from getting to you. They got another thought coming. Them wolves ran straight into that glass door. Your enemy's about to hit a wall, as according to Isaiah 22:22. For when God shuts the door, man can't open it. They gonna have to watch. They gonna be looking through the glass door at you and your spouse get all the blessings that they thought they were holding you up from getting. But see, God even allots for the time that you think you delayed. But see, the enemy makes you feel like you're delayed because he starts chasing you when he thinks that you think it's time. That's how that works. See, if it really operated on the capacity that the enemy didn't start chasing you until it actually was time. But he chases you when he thinks you think it's time. So when he sees movement in your life, he just attack you anyway. But God's like, that wasn't time anyway. But you gonna find out. Them enemies about to find out. Because now's time. Because when God says now, they get ready to bust their face open. Remember how Pharaoh and all of his people drowned out there? They died in the Red Sea. They about to drown. You about to cross over to the promised land. Because there was a second parting of the waters that they had to go through before they crossed into the actual promised land. Because remember that the staff was used again to part the waters. Now, hold on. Let me get this straight, because now I'm thinking, because I remember Elisha parted the waters after Elijah went up. But now I'm starting to wonder, didn't Joshua part something too? I don't want to get that messed up. Hold on. I wanted to make sure and double check, because it's like I had a momentary moment where I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, I recall it parting. Joshua parted the Jordan. It says it here in Joshua 3, that 3 and 13, that the waters of the Jordan shall be stopped from flowing, and the waters coming down from above shall stand in one heap. So yes, they did part. the Jordan River too before they crossed over. So there has always been a parting before a crossing over into the manifestation of what it is that was meant to be made manifest. And this is what you're seeing in the midst of all of these storms. Okay? Mention it now, mention it later. So he ran out. The wolves tried to follow him. He distracted, came back through the back door, but they were going to bust through the other doorway. So they were able to grab a raft, and because they had an injured individual, because one person did get bit. Some of your spouses have the ability that during the midst of them heading towards you, and I did mention this in the Deja Vu review, that when they were in their process, certain people got injured in the process. Meaning, in their disobedience to follow the Lord's leading at specific point in times that God was telling them, I need you to do this. In some cases, certain individuals may have gotten injured. Now, contrary to that, they wanted to go get food. So he was trying to get out of there. So half of that didn't happen because of the fact that they were trying to go get food. Had they left when he said, let's go, there have been people that they got injured due to their own distractedness that he was trying to bring along with him in this process. And because they weren't supposed to be a part of the situation in the first place, they got injured. Certain people also may have gotten injured because of the fact that their time with your spouse was running out. So there needed to be a stopgap to separate the two. Because you can't continue to carry on somebody that is injured. I mean, you can't go into something new with somebody that is still carrying old wounds. You see what I'm saying? Because they'll hold you up. They ended up having a level of delay because of the fact they had to drag him along because he couldn't walk, and they had to still get back to the library. So that has also been an issue. So how in the world do they manage to do this? Some people operated in misery, unhealed wounds that were poisonous, that tried to keep them or tried to get them to stay, didn't want to be left behind, so on and so forth. So they needed to track, and some of them were operating as monitoring spirits. You know how it goes. So because of that, they would then, when your spouse was trying to get away from them because they knew what it was that they were supposed to do, some of these people started operating under accusation, projection, twisting of words, all kinds of things in order to create anxiety and shame to further hold up your spouse, because now he's internalizing this stuff and it's like, wait a minute, did I or didn't I? Because last night I was looking at a video. It was talking about you should be careful of certain therapists, because a therapist was explaining about how therapists need to be careful about what it is that they say, especially when they aren't trained enough to have the wisdom of understanding how a narcissist operates. Because if they don't understand how a narcissist operates, a narcissist will turn around and take everything that happened in that session and use it to twist and mess their spouse up. So don't you get caught up in all of this. Let me go get me a better health counselor. Let me tell you something about these counselors in some cases. If these people are not spiritual discerning, you need to run in the opposite direction. They'll make you think that you crazy because now they the narcissist. You think Satan ain't gonna jump into them to make you think you crazy? 3 attacks that the enemy will come against you with. He's trying to make you think you crazy, try to put you in a crazy house, and then try to put you in jail. What's the best way to do that? Have you go into the wrong type of therapist and make you think that you the one that's crazy? But sometimes you have to be discerning. But a person that's not discerning, they'll sit up there and allow themselves to be projected upon by these people. Ooh, I got stories. I ain't even gonna go there right now. Coming back to the film. That's where these people operate. All to keep people stagnant, stuck, dragging them along. Okay? They know that they can't be carried upon on full weight because they can't walk in that capacity. They ain't going to be able to walk in them shoes. They ain't going to be able to go where they going. So they try to hold on and use mind games to keep them and keep them dragging them behind them. And your spouse will get fully convinced of it because that type of mind game is, it's so, you be Christian and still, you be discerning and still be like, wait a minute, let me check myself to make sure that I didn't. Because there's certain twisting that twists it real good in your brain and you be like, because it mirrors incorrect information back. False evidence appearing real to get you caught up and hold you up in offense, in anxiety, in shame. That becomes a stumbling block to keep you stuck. And that's what was happening in some of these cases. But he who the Son sets free is free indeed. So either you're going to let them go or you're going to let God. And some people, because they know out of the kindness of your spouse's heart, they use them for that. Just to be dragged along. Because they know that they don't have the capacity to go there themselves. So they just, I'm going to hold on. Friends, counterfeits. Because these individuals are too prideful and won't allow the Lord to heal them in the first place. Because they like to look good, but don't like to do good. But when your spouse started to come out of it, he started to be like, you ain't going to keep holding on to me. I'm not going to keep dragging you around. So, what else happened after that? So they're trying to get across the tundra of this water that has now turned to ice, snow covered area. And as they're going, they recognize the chill changed, the temperature changed. The sun was able to look up and notice that the air was starting to freeze things. When he started to see it, he was like, oh, we gotta go. They were like 1/3 away from the library. They took off running, started running as fast as they could with that guy in this life raft, and ran. As they're running, literally, you're seeing the ice come down the building as they were getting ready to head right into the building. So they carried him, picked him up, took off, and ran as fast as they could. It's like the ice was freezing the building's interior as they were running. It got to the back room just in the nick of time, shutting the door, sliding in on the floor. and the doors froze shut. He starts yelling as they slide in front of the fireplace. He says, everybody, toss whatever you can into the fire. Do not let the fire go out. So they started tossing books. They started tossing whatever they could toss. They just kept tossing, whatever they could toss into the fire. But they took what he needed to get for her and brought it to her, which brought her to a point of consciousness. Now we gonna switch, because I'm going to now go back and talk about exactly what was happening to his father simultaneously while all this is happening. Okay? So